Praise be to God, children. Good morning. So today we are going to start our 7th chapter. What was the name of our previous chapter? It was the church in Kerala. Now we are becoming much more precise. That is, we are going to study about the history of Latin Catholic Church in Kerala. So, the history of Latin Catholic Church is as old as the history of Latin Catholics. That is, it is closely related in Kerala. The Latin Catholic Church merges about 20 lakhs of people of different cultures and different groups. During the 14th century, those who were really fed up with the Nestorian heresy or those who needed complete liberation from the caste system started getting converted into Latin Catholics. So, what was Nestorian heresy? We studied it in our previous chapter. So, it is a false doctrine which states that Mother Mary is just Christotokos, not Theotokos. That is, bearer of Christ and not the bearer of God. So, the people who rejected Nestorian heresy and also those who needed a liberation from the caste system started getting converted into Latin Catholics. And also, even though we know that we have seen that the establishment of Kollam diocese occurred during 1329 AD, but the actual history of Latin Catholic Church starts from the 16th century. Since a long back, the Portuguese missionaries tried so hard to bring the other Christians or the Christians who were in false doctrines to bring back to Latin Catholicism. Also during that time, it was very difficult for the people to get converted from one religion to another. That is, the rulers of Kollam, Kodingalur, Kochi and Kasaragod, Kozhikode, etc. These rulers did not like people getting converted from one religion to another. There were many political as well as religious issues while converting from one religion to another. Even other rulers of other parts of Kerala too did not like this. So it was very difficult to convert people from one religion to another. Even though a lot of missionary works were going on during this period, it was very difficult to convert people, as we have said earlier, and it was not going as effective as it was earlier. So, when the Portuguese missionary Alfonso de Albuquerque visited Kollam in 1503, there were only 20,000 of Christians. Many people were into a lot of false doctrines. With his missionary works there, he started converting people who believed in false doctrines into Latin Catholicism. And after his going back, he entrusted Father Rodriguez in charge of these believers and asked him to convert and also maintain them in a proper faith. And when he went back, he converted almost 1,200 of Christians into Latin Catholic rite. Now, this doesn't mean that he just wanted to convert them into a Latin Catholic rite, but what he wanted or what his aim was to bring these people into correct faith. We have already said in our previous chapters that there is no much differences about these rites. It is not the matter of rite. It is not the matter of Latin rite or Roman rite. But here the importance is that the people who totally believed in the false doctrines, which is totally against the teachings of the church, that is why they are known as heresies. The people who believed in such heresies were brought back to Jesus' faith. That is, they were converted into a particular rite. Here it is Latin rite. As a part of this, the European missionaries or the missionaries who came there started constructing churches in European model, especially in Kochi, Vaipin, Kodingalur, etc. And also they started to do services or the rituals in an European manner with a lot of musical instruments by a choir, and all these added up the grandeur and spirituality of the Catholic Church. So many people got attracted. Even though there is a lot of grandeur, it doesn't mean that it was so luxurious. But what here it means is that it was of deep spirituality plus a grandeur. So both these added a special attraction towards the Latin Catholic churches. And so Because of all these things, Waipin, Kochi, Kollam, all these places became a center attraction of Latin Rite. And also there can be a question, what helped in the spread of Latin Rite? Yes, this is what helped in the spread of Latin Rite. That is their grandeur, their deep spirituality, the construction in a European model. All these things added up a special spread or added up a special feature to Latin Rite at those times. The Franciscan missionaries who started working in Kochi then gradually moved on to Kannur. 4 missionaries moved on to Kannur and they started their missionary activities there. Because of their missionary activities, the number of Latin Catholics increased as well as the development of church too increased during that time. We have said earlier that the history of Latin Catholic Church starts from the 16th century, even though the Kollam diocese was established in 1329. Now here in the middle of the 16th century, Latin Catholic Church had increased its dominance, and now a large number of laities, priests and believers gathered in Latin Catholic Church. The growth of the Latin Catholic Church increased at a very fast pace. And in 1547, the Franciscan missionaries were widely engaged in mission activities, and therefore that is the reason why we have a certain dominant phase at the middle of 16th century. So children, in the beginning of this 7th chapter, we learned about the conversion of people from a particular religion or a particular caste to Latin Catholic Church. And I am repeating it once again that converting into Latin Catholic Rite doesn't mean that Latin Catholic Rite is dominant, or it doesn't mean that it is inferior. There is no dominance or there is no inferiority between any of the rites. Everything is equal. In the previous chapter also we said about the similarities and dissimilarities. The dissimilarities only among the rituals or the cultures they follow, the methods they follow, but the supreme peace lies in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the head. So here also we are studying about the history of Latin Catholic Rite, and that is why we say about the Latin Catholic Rite here. Okay, so please be familiar with all these things, and here we have just gone through an introduction part and also about the Franciscan missionary activities in Kannur. Okay, so please go through your textbook. I will be sending the PDF of the textbook along with this. Go through that and please write a short note on the missionary activities of Franciscan missionaries in Kannur. Okay, so see you in next week. Thank you.